Hi, Genealogy Queens. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm finally back with another video, and at first, I didn't know if I wanted to do a video on Nigeria first or Ivory Coast as Ghana because I wanted to kind of go down the line of how high my percentages were, but it was so it was just so hard to just make a decision. So I just decided to do Nigeria because I knew more about Nigeria, I guess, in a way, than what I knew about Ivory Coast or Ghana. So I'm still doing kind of more outside research on Ghana. Like I found out about Yaa Asantewaa, which I found is really cool, the Ashanti Queen. So I'll go into her when I talk about Ivory Coast or Ghana. However, I want to talk about Nigeria today. So Nigeria, so when I first took my ancestry DNA test, I received 19% Nigerian. However, when Ancestry updated, I received only 1% Nigerian. But then when when my 23andMe updated, it was like pretty much 26.8% Nigerian, so that's pretty much 27% Nigerian. So I'm really not sure about my Nigerian percentage. I just know that I am Nigerian, some way, somehow. And one thing that I've heard about Nigeria is a lot of people in Africa want to be Nigerian because I guess Nigeria is one of the wealthiest places in Africa, or it's one of the, yeah, I believe so. That's at least, I heard, well, the reason why I say that is because one of my friends, Danny, she's Nigerian, and she told, because I asked her why, I asked her this maybe 2 years ago, why everybody wants to be Nigerian, or why people get so excited when they become Nigerian, and they can say that they're like a Niger girl or a Niger boy. And she said because, Nigerians are one of the wealthiest people in Nigeria. They're like the richest and wealthiest, so that's why people want to have Nigerian blood in them so bad. So I found that really interesting. I don't know how true that is, but that's one really interesting fact that I had heard about. If I could find that comment through Facebook, I will, but I'm not even on Facebook anymore. I just completely deactivated my account, so I just have to look through my messages and see what I can find. So, speaking of Nigeria, so it says Nigeria is also found in the Central African Republic, and it says our Nigeria region takes its name from the most populous country in Africa, where more than 168 million people live in an area about twice the size of California. In fact, Nigeria has 6 cities with populations over 1 million. The United States has 9. From its tropical south to the arid north, Nigeria as a country is a concept and product of colonialism, bringing together more than 250 ethnic groups within fairly arbitrary borders. So, I want to go into geography, and then after geography, I kind of want to go into to the not really the religion, but the kingdoms of the past, and then go down to the ethnic groups because I found those really interesting. So, with geography, it says that Nigeria's seacoast in the south, with its mangrove swamps in the Niger Delta, gives way to a band of tropical rainforest in the savanna and drier Sahel grasslands in the north. Along with the landscape, the climate varies from wet and tropical along the coast to more arid conditions in the Sahel, where a 3 in Sahel maybe it may be pronounced Sahel, but where a 3 to 4 month rainy season is followed by hot, dry temperatures. Modern-day Nigeria's northern area once encompassed the southern end of trans-Saharan trade routes, where salt, cloth, and other goods were brought across the desert to trade for gold, ivory, slaves, koala nuts, and other items from the south. Okay, well that is interesting. That's an acacia tree in the Niger Delta, or an acacia tree in the Niger Delta? Okay. So, religion. Throughout West Africa, Muslim traders brought Islam as well as goods with them across the Sahara, and the religion was adopted by some in Nigeria's northern Sahel and Savannah regions by at least the 9th century. Islam made its way to the south during the reign of Malian Emperor Mansa Musa. We know about him, if not before. Christianity came later, of course, because of colonialism, yet with Eritrean traders who interacted with groups in the south. It says religious preferences still maintain this north-south divide, with Islam predominating in the north and among the Fulani and Hausa, and Christianity in the south. Now, how funny is that? Because when you think about America and you think about the north, like the north is kind of more free with their like mind. Like if you think about the U.S. and you think about the north, people in the north, yeah, you got religious people in the north, you got some Christians in the north, but people in the north are more free-spirited. They're more free and open-minded, and people in the south are more on Christianity and being Baptist and stuff like that, and their mind isn't as free and open as people in the north. So people in the south have more of a closed mind, and they're so focused on Christianity, and that's all they know. But people in the north are so more open-minded and so more free and so different. So that's kind of cool and interesting how it's kind of like that in Africa. Not technically the mindset thing, but just the fact that Christianity is more predominant in the south there and Islam in the north. And I actually think what's funny is Islam, there's a lot of Islamic people in the north as well. In the north and in the U.S., if you do have a lot of Hebrew Israelites and stuff up there. So yeah, that's really weird but interesting at the same time when you really think about it. So you got kingdoms of the past. So it says the oldest human remains were found in Nigeria have been dated to 9,000 BC. Though the region was likely inhabited before then, there is evidence of iron working from around 600 BC. The earliest known Iron Age civilization in Nigeria is the Nok, or Nook, who lived in northern and central Niger between about 1000 BC and 300 AD. They are known for their life-sized terracotta statues. Following the Nok, or Nook, large kingdoms and smaller village-based groups established themselves in the area over the next millennia. And it says the Yoruba, one of the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria today, which we know about the Yoruba, we hear a lot about the Yoruba, trace their roots back to the city of Ile-Ife in southwestern Nigeria. The city became an important center of trade in the 21st century. Like the Nuk or Nok before them, the Yoruba of this period were sculptors, creating works in terracotta, iron, and bronze. The city was also known for its courtyards paved in shades of pottery. Unlike Ile-Ife, the Yoruba kingdom of Oyo maintained an army and established a kingdom that dominated western Nigeria during the 17th and early 18th centuries. Wow, that's really cool. That's really interesting. Wow, what you find out. Let me see. So passing the slave trade. Matter of fact, I want you guys to see this statue right here. It says, if a bronze casting of a king dated around 12th century in the British Museum. Of course, it's in the British Museum. Everything is in the British Museum. Okay. Let's skip the slave trade. I'm pretty sure we hear way too much about that. Colonialism. After the Berlin Conference of 1884 and 1885, which Parsi led Africa out among European powers, Nigeria fell within the British sphere. The Royal Niger Company represented and pursued British interests in the area until 1890. When the British government took control, the area was divided into northern and southern protectorates until 1914. When they were merged into the colony of Nigeria, Niger became independent in 1960. For 4 years earlier, in 1956, oil had been discovered in the Niger Delta, and Niger is now among the top 10 oil exporters in the world. Wow. Ethnic groups. So I found this really cool. It says the Hausa and Fulani, the Yoruba, and the Igbo. It says the Hausa people form one of the largest groups in West Africa. They are located primarily in northern Nigeria and southern Nigeria, or Niger. The Hausa language is spoken as a first language by around 40 million people, more than any other language in sub-Saharan Africa. In Nigeria, the Hausa have integrated with the Fulani to the extent that the group is often referred to as Hausa Fulani. The Fulani are spread over many West African countries, including Senegal, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Historically, the Fulani were nomads who kept cattle. They also strongly linked to Islam. The Fulani led the jihads that helped establish the Sokoto Caliphate in Hausa lands during the 19th century. They are a minority population in each country they inhabit, with the exception of Guinea, where they represent 40% of the population. In Nigeria, the Hausa Fulani account for about 30% of Nigeria's population. Wow. The Yoruba live in southwestern Nigeria. Okay, so they kind of are with the Hausa and Fulani in a way. And the southern portion of neighboring Benin. Ooh, that's okay. They make up about 20% of Nigeria's population. The Yoruba were greatly affected by the transatlantic slave trade. Their territory was one of the most significant slave exporting regions in Africa during the 1800s. The largest concentrations of Yoruba ended up in Cuba, Brazil, and Trinidad. Oh, wow. Okay. The Igbo and Yoruba peoples from the Bights of Benin and Biafra constituted roughly 1/3 of all enslaved Africans transported to the Americas. Okay. Now the Igbo. The Igbo people are another large and influential ethnic group in Nigeria. With a population of about 30 million, they are found primarily in southeastern Nigeria, as well as Cameroon, Sierra Leone, and Equatorial Guinea. Okay. The transatlantic slave trade also had a massive impact on the Igbo. Many of those sold in slavery were kidnapped or captured as prisoners of war. Others were debtors or had been convicted of crimes. Several scholars assert that Igbo slaves were reputed to be especially rebellious. Some would even commit suicide rather than endure enslavement, and that is true. I remember hearing about that. Through when you watch like those Black Power YouTube videos, they kind of give you information on that. But I have heard of that. I did hear about there were some who did kill themselves because to not have to endure what slaves would endure. So that is true. Elements of Igbo culture can still be seen in former New World colonies. For instance, Jamaican Creole uses the Igbo word for you, and a section of Belize City is named Iboe Town after its Igbo inhabitants. In the United States, a high concentration of slaves in Maryland and Virginia were Igbo, and their descendants still make up a large portion of the African American population in the area. That is true. I was going to say something about that, but it said it for me. Wow. Well, that's it for you guys. That's all I have for today. I'm so sorry it took me so long to make a video. I've been very busy, and it has just not been as easy to make videos. I'm also, like, even at the moment, very, very tired. I can hardly even keep my eyes open. However, I'm probably going to make another video with pictures of the Niger people, and then I'll go into a video after that about Ivory Coast Ghana. So you guys take it easy and keep it together. I love you guys so much. Continue to learn more and more and more as you go about parts of the world, ethnic groups in Africa and other parts of the world as well. Try to continue to, maybe if you're interested, to look into your own genealogy and your own family history and see what you find. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.